In my life and times as a data analyst, I've witnessed a disconnect between the numbers on a page or on a screen and what those numbers actually mean in human terms. I've come to the conclusion that in order to have real-world impact, we first need to humanize data. 20 years ago, when I first started out as a public school teacher, the thing that motivated me the most was the sense of urgency I felt around using education to blunt the impact of institutionalized oppression. Specifically, I was obsessed with ending the school-to-prison pipeline. When I think about the term school-to-prison pipeline, I feel a lot of things, but mostly I feel motivated to do the work. Fast forward to the work I do now as a data analyst. When I make a chart or a dashboard that shows the gaps in achievement, I don't see numbers on the screen. I see our children. And the part of my chart that's in red, I don't see a block of color. What I see is the mortal danger our children will be in if they go out into a hostile world without the ability to read. That's the story behind the data, but you're never going to pick up on that from looking at a spreadsheet. And that's because, contrary to popular belief, data does not speak for itself. It needs a storyteller. It needs someone who can take the raw information and put it into human terms and then place it into context. It's not about complicated algorithms or having the latest and greatest app. It's about a human being caring enough about something to collect evidence, organize their thoughts, and then tell a story about what they've learned. I'd like to share with you today my 5-step process for humanizing data. Step 1, identify a particular issue that you truly care about on a personal level. And related to that issue, focus in on one specific thing that you want to see change. Step 2, go out and collect facts and evidence about what's happening on the ground. Facts are sometimes referred to as data. Why am I using the word facts? Because the word data conjures up images of complex spreadsheets and inscrutable algorithms, and I desperately want us to move away from being consumed with all of that and move away from this idea that data is only for this small group of very special people who have some special access to special technology that no one else can ever hope to understand. How about no to all of that? The things I'm talking about are for all of us. We can all do this. All of us can picture ourselves making observations and collecting facts. So that's the lens to which I prefer to describe data. Okay, end of rant. Step 3, based on the facts you've gathered, decide on one specific action to take. Step 4, go back out and collect more facts and evidence to see what, if anything, has changed. This is the part where you're going to objectively measure your effectiveness. And finally, step 5, based on what you've learned, craft a story that explains why this issue matters to you, why you want to see things change, what impact you've had so far, and what you think we should do next. Now, you're going to embed the numbers into your story, but what people are going to remember most is the story itself, and more importantly, how it made them feel. For example, in an experiment conducted at Stanford University, they surveyed an audience that had just listened to a presentation that was packed with data. After that presentation, only 5% of people in that audience could remember a single statistic that they had just heard. At the same time, 63% of the audience could remember the stories that they heard. Why is that? It's because stories, unlike statistics, connect with us on an emotional level, on a human level. Imagine what would be possible if each of you could tell a story that uses data to articulate the change that you want to see in the world, why it matters, and why people should care. Right now, I'm in a room full of leaders, and what I really want is for each of you to take the ideas I'm presenting here today and use them to drive change. I want you to take a particular issue that you truly care about on a personal level, that you're passionate about, and start collecting the data, and then use that data along with your passion and your empathy to tell a story that draws people in and gets them to care and moves them to take action. That is data storytelling, that is humanizing data, and that is how we're going to move from inspiration to impact. My name is David White, and I thank you.